What is happening, Nerd Squad, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host for today, Taylor McWaters, and while some supervillains are fun to watch rule the world like Magneto or Thanos, it was kind of nice watching him snap all of our heroes into oblivion. It was something about it, it was peaceful. But there are other villains that just don't get the spotlight, and they should. Even if they're just a guy with chainsaws for hands, they still matter too, okay? So for today's list, we're counting down our top 10 Wolverine villains you won't believe exist. Let's get weird. Kicking off the list at number 10, we have Dirtnap. No real name also, just goes by Dirtnap. So sick. Making his first few little steps in Wolverine Volume 2, issue 95, Dirtnap is a mutant that can absorb living beings and take their forms. The Kirby of the Marvel Universe, essentially. Now, he ran into Wolverine for the first time when Dirtnap absorbed a small child, and then right after he attempted to absorb Wolverine, seeing as Logan's healing factor would make that pretty exhausting, Dirtnap absorbed a rat, and then he fled the scene, instead of, absorbing a faster creature. Maybe one that could fly would be nice. So he started off as a mutant with his amazing ability, and now he's forever a rat like Peter Pettigrew. A rat with a red smiley face. Just, how comforting is that? Number 9, Roughhouse. Just that name alone, you know you're in for a little bit of trouble. He first appeared in Wolverine Volume 2, Issue 4. It was speculated that Roughhouse was from Asgard. He has mythological origins, but still he was classified as a mutant. He's a descendant from the Asgardian native rock trolls, so he could be a god, he could be a troll, he could be a giant, who knows. Either way, he's trouble. His appearance isn't just a style choice also. He actually let the hair grow out to hide all the scars from his horrible father that he'd left behind. In Wolverine Volume 2, Issue 18, Wolverine had to go head-to-head with the mythical man, and at this point, Geistmen gave Roadhouse experimental narcotics, and it just drove him insane, as most experimental narcotics do. So when Wolverine fought him, he was kind of taking it easy on him in a way, seeing as he was out of it, he was kind of loopy. Wolverine came face-to-face with Roughhouse after the adamantium was stripped from his skeleton, and Logan actually lost this fight. He got knocked out, and then Roughhouse took him back to his hideout, where he and Bloodscream tortured Wolverine for days. He's an Asgardian descendant, so Roughhouse has super speed, super strength, all the usual super stuff, but like Logan, Roughhouse too inherited the healing factor. He's been referred to as the weaker Wolverine despite his mythical background. Number 8, Bloodscream. Another villain that helped Roughhouse with the torture of Wolverine was Bloodscream. These names are so violent, oh my god. So Bloodscream entered comics in issue 4 of Wolverine Volume 2. He was originally a surgeon named Zachariah Ravenscraft, and he would travel with Sir Francis Drake back in the 17th century. So he's a little bit old. What's his secret to everlasting life? Well, let me tell you. Canadian natives injured the doctor during a scuffle, and then he was forced to meet a healer named Dagu to treat him. Dagu used an eldritch spell to keep him in between life and death, resulting in this vampire hybrid of a man. Now the name Bloodscream is making more sense now, I bet. Immortal and always hungry, Bloodscream demands Dagu to set him back to doctor mode. Reverse this curse, please and thank you, sir. Now in order to do so, he needed the blood of another immortal. Bloodscream met Wolverine for the first time in World War II, and that's when he first thought that the mutant was immortal. So him and Roughhouse often paired up to attempt to take him down numerous times. Number 7, Cyber. Silas Burr made his first appearance in Marvel Comics Presents issue 85. He was born in Canada over 100 years ago. They're all so old. What's going on? He was an agent for the Pinkerton National Detective Agency in 1912, but was charged with 22 counts of murder and put on trial in Iowa. Not a great guy. And yes, he was guilty on all of those charges. He was about to be hanged, but Victor Creed, aka Sabretooth, was posing as a guard and helped Burr escape. After that, Burr was taken to the Canadian Army's training facility where he met Frederick Hudson, who was impressed by Burr because of how pushy and controlling he was for the men below him. So Hudson put Burr in command of the Devil's Brigade, which included Logan. So he was bossing Logan around. He was the one who pushed Logan non-stop to be made into this animal. So in Wolverine Origins, Romulus decided to give Burr a little upgrade in the form of adamantium, taking on this new fitting alias, Cyber. Number 6, Dr. Rot. Nice. That name is pretty disgusting right off the top. Now his real name is a little more tame. His name's Algernon Rotwell. He was sent to Dunwich Sanatorium because he was mad, but he wasn't superpowered by any means, just a little bit insane. While he was in there, he was able to start a riot and take control, which led him to harvesting the employees' brains. So he made this god brain machine, and yes, it's as gross as you would imagine. Check it out. Squishy. Imagine the smell. So he captured Logan, made him lose his memory, tortured him, and then claimed the only way to get better is just to embrace and let go of all that anger and aggression. Just let it out. They wanted him to let it out and to hurt people. So he found out these code phrases that were put in from Weapon X, so he made Logan do all these brutal attacks, and he wasn't even sure if he was awake or not. It was wild. It was a bad time. Dr. Rot was honestly pretty badass for a guy who has no powers. He created the flesh puppets using Logan's brain tissue. Also, yeah, flesh puppets. That's a nice way to say zombies. Number 5, Charlie Chainsaw. This guy is literally 2 chains. Whenever I see that one card from Cards Against Humanity, the one that says chainsaws for hands, I always laugh because that's such a terrible situation to be in. I'm always like, imagine this dude, imagine him as a villain, we'd be doomed. Well, lo and behold, he's a villain, and we're doomed. He first appeared in Wolverine Weapon X issue 7. He was the guy wandering around without hands, actually, at this point. The staff was following him in the hallways, asking for Charlie to come back. He was like, what do? I don't have hands, I can't open doors, help. And then 6 pages later, the surgery is complete. Charlie Chainsaw is born. Charlie remained loyal to Rotwell until Logan ripped through those chainsaws. Damn, that sounds like a pretty stressful life. He's for sure a chain smoker. Number 4, Spore. Making his first appearance in Wolverine Volume 2, Issue 21, Spore is a living bioweapon created from the Deviants. This was way back when they were at war with the Eternals in the prehistoric era. So Spore consumed everything in its path, be it humans, deviants, and even Eternals. He targeted the Celestials, so they naturally had to destroy him during the second host. But in the next issue, Spore came back to life. Turns out when he was liquefied, he was absorbed into all that soil underneath him. So when that land became a controlled area for Felix Guillermo Caridad to grow his stuff, his bad stuff that I can't say, some of those narcotics that he was using was infused with Spore. So Felix became the next Spore, and it's an awful, awful conundrum. Number 3, Gorgon. Tommy Shishido made his first appearance in Wolverine Volume 3, Issue 20, and from birth, Tommy was a fast learner. At just 2 weeks old, he spoke a full sentence, and at 3 months old, he was walking around on his own. At age 1, reading and writing was part of his normal day, and at age 4, he was ranked one of the top 5 artists in modern Japan. And then come birthday number 13, he discovered he was a mutant. He had low-level telepathy, he could read minds from a short distance, but you don't want to have a staring contest with him at all, because if he locks eyes with you, you'll literally turn into stone. He remained blindfolded, relying on his telepathic abilities to carry him in battle, and it worked. He was actually pretty sick. The media dubbed him as the Gorgon, like the Medusa of our time. He found the Hand Sanctuary and within a year became their high priest, where he ran the ninja clan. Number 2, Razor Fist. After getting his arms cut off, master martial artist Douglas Scott got a pretty shiny upgrade instead of those hands. He worked alongside his brother William Scott, and after Shang-Chi defeated both the mercenaries, Razor Fist started to work with the crime lord Roche in Madripoor. His job was to assassinate Wolverine, which, okay, easy peasy, sure, sounds great. Now the first fight, Wolverine actually did lose. Razor Fist shucked him off of a cliff. Nice. Now the next encounter, Razor Fist got what was coming. He tried to take on Hawkeye as well at one point. He was trying to cut off his right arm for a reward, but Razor Fist isn't superpowered. He's just a guy with blades for hands. I mean, who would you rather fight, honestly? Razor Fist or Chainsaw Charlie? I feel like Charlie would be better because you'd hear him. He's loud at least, so you have like a warning. I don't know, both are pretty terrifying. Both are equally as terrifying. And finally, number 1, Romulus. That guy I mentioned earlier in this list. Let's talk about him. He made his first appearance in Wolverine Volume 3, Issue 55. Romulus claims to have been born in prehistoric times, born as one of the Lupine, these feral humans that evolved from canines rather than apes. But in Wolverine Volume 2, Issue 312, it's exposed that his origins are all just a fib, and the bones that Romulus planted at the elephant graveyard were just distractions. Nothing to do with his past or anything like that. He does have powers. Like Wolverine, his regenerative healing factor saves the day pretty often. Later on, he comes to fight Wolverine equipped. He has these black gloves that have 4 blades attached. 3 of them similar to Logan's adamantium claws, but he also has a 4th one, and it's like thumbs almost. They can take quite the beating from Logan's claws being adamantium as well. But when it comes to thumb wars, Romulus wins. That's it. He's got the other one. He can thumb war anyone. Guys, there you have it. Those are our top 10 Wolverine villains that you would not believe exist. Let us know all your comments, thoughts, and concerns down below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and we'll do the rest. I'm Taylor McWaters and we'll see you next time on Top 10 Nerd. Peace. Now, Dagu used an Eldritch spell, Dagu used an Eldritch spell, Eldritch. Razor Fist started to work with the crime lord Roche in Madripoor. Roche. I think it's Roche.
We say Roche just in case.
Oh, Rocher, Ferrero Rocher. There it is. Ferrero Rocher. He was so yummy.